We're going to stress you out today, baby.
Look at the smile.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. It's a big day as we're getting ready for the NFL Combine. Everything has changed in the draft world for the Cowboys at 12. What the world is selectively aggressive mean, and what are the Cowboys up to? All those things are happening for you, right? Meow. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into today's DLLS Cowboys Podcast, where we have so much to get to, and your boy is excited because there are draft things happening, which we will get to. I love the draft. Oh, I love the draft. I hate every draft analyst. You're all cowards. But I love the draft, and we have so many things happening. Mel Kiper mock draft, rankings for people changing, names you need to know for the Cowboys at 12. All that stuff is coming up. But before we get to it, we have other things that are current with the Cowboys, and I'll tell you all about it after I tell you that my name is Jeff.
Hates Jerry, loves the draft, almost a pro, bad knee, stop that. In a 40, can beat Dak. Kevin now, or else not a threat. Oh,
Okay.
Dark.
Dark.
Okay. You got you a song,
That fits
baby.
you today, too. That fits you today.
Dark.
That fits you today.
Angry.
Yes.
Prickly.
Can you beat that?
Yeah.
Can you
Thorny.
beat that?
Why does my song sound like the Insane Clown Posse or
Well,
something?
it sound like hard rock, baby.
Sound like you
get it.
today.
Hey, that's you.
Next to me is former Cowboys wide receiver Jesse Holly.
from North Carolina to down at the one. Jesse
Sounds like Ben
is
Rock.
always having fun. His football takes are never wrong. Why pop, gotta call you Mr. Fourth and Gone.
I'm embracing that.
Next to Jesse is Clarence Hill.
The best.
Club hop, where legends drive.
That's the best song.
Clarence Hill just can't stop. Breaking news, you gotta hop in Club hop.
You gotta hop in Club Pop.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh,
God, it hits.
next to him is Joe Hoyt.
Joe knows what to do. Cowboys beat, he's number 2. Green and gold, he loves the Ducks. Our boy Joe don't give up. Tell him something, Joe, tell them. Tell him something, Joe, tell them. Kwame.
The Kwame is pretty good. Kwame.
They're all so amazing, and we're going to lose so many people who are like, I'm not listening to 4 songs before you start your show.
Nah,
today."
it was quick.
They love it.
It was in and out, man. They love it. I like
Okay.
that.
Huh?
I love it.
They're like, okay, yeah. The person who made those, the person's
That
AI.
had a little Kendrick to it.
Where's
See, look, I like that. They like it.
is our boss just going somewhere and just typing in keywords on an
Yeah.
AI website and it just goes?
Yeah, he tinkers, I think, posts a little bit, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's
No,
amazing.
yeah, I'm just
And yours was
aggressive.
good, man. Yours got you. Caught you by surprise. I saw your mouth open like,
Yeah, I didn't know I was gonna have a song. I don't want a song.
oh, that's okay. We didn't want one either.
Nobody asked
I mean,
for us. We
nobody
didn't ask
asked
for
for
this.
it.
Nobody asked for this life. This life was chosen for us.
Please hit the like and subscribe song. My song is a little too angry. But I'm not angry today. I'm irritated. There's a difference.
Well, you come across or else all the time.
Yeah,
no,
you
man.
say these or
But it's not a threat.
It's not a threat in the song.
Yeah, it's not a threat. It's just
Look, see, Nick says it was good and catchy.
okay.
We love it.
All right. We're in there. Jesse Holly is out on OSA. He's trying to fire him. And Clarence, we had to figure out what selectively aggressive means. And then, Joe, you have to fight with Clarence. So that's where we are to start the show. That's where we are. I believe in leading with opinion. So, Jesse, why are we out on OSA?
Well, I came to the conclusion when I got up this morning. I believe, and this is all opinion based, that we're entering a time where when owners start meeting at the combine and conversation starts happening, we're going to start to see some things that we didn't expect. Players being released, players given permission to go and seek trades, players being, all these different type of things are happening. And I just come to the conclusion that for me, and this is not personal. It's not personal. Stop laughing. It's not personal.
With all due respect.
No, this is not personal.
What Jason Garrett told you when he let you go, was that personal to you?
To him, it was business.
To you,
to me,
it was personal.
It was personal to me because it happened to me.
So this is personal.
Lawyered.
This is personal to Osa.
That's fine, and I want Osa to go get all the money. I'm just not willing to pay the money here.
Well, you don't have to. Is the good news,
right?
We don't have to pay him.
But I'm out on Osa. Let me be like that. Let me just say that.
There you go.
I'm out on paying Osa the contract that the Cowboys have waited for him to now receive. I just think there are going to be some other options that come available where you can now, like for example, we woke up this morning to the Jonathan Allen situation in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
He has 1 year left on his deal for $15 million. None of it's guaranteed. I think you can sign a guy like him. You can go get some other guys to pair with him. You can draft a guy in the draft. And now, instead of paying one guy, I went and got 3 or 4 guys. And I still think there is still some meat left on the bone for a guy like Jonathan Allen. He's been a 2-time Pro Bowler. He's a really good player to me. I think you go get a guy like that and you may give him a little money, right? And go get some other guys and draft a guy. And now I have a rotation of guys that'll be able to go out there and play for me instead of getting $80, $90 million to a player. That's okay. Like Osa's good, but Osa isn't elite. Osa isn't game changing. And I know it's a familiar name to go with those other pieces, but $80 million, $90 million for an okay player, I think that's a stretch. And for me, I'm like on the what's the show with Mark Cuban and all them?
Shark Tank.
I'm out.
And for that reason, I'm out.
I'm out. I think that there'll be more things that come available where we can go and spend good quality money on good quality players, build a true rotation, and move forward with that than paying one guy $80 to $90 million that doesn't give us an elite skill set.
I think you said the key word there too, and that's rotation. And I think that defensive line, especially with how the Cowboys are when you have no one right now, right? We've talked about how they literally just only have a couple guys under contract, including former undrafted free agents and Mozzie Smith. You need to be able to build a rotation, I think, before you can add cherries on top. And I don't think that this is the right time to spend on an expensive cherry.
And also for a guy like Dan Quinn, you owe us one. You owe us one.
that ain't how this works.
I mean,
I know. I'm just.
He wants to give you Jonathan Allen.
Like you owe us one, and also it could be setting up. He could be letting Jonathan Allen go because Dan Quinn might go. You know what? I want Osa Digizua. It's a name that I'm familiar with. The name that I know. That I name that I because we always talk about when a new coach comes in, when the new GMs come in. I don't have any. I'm not tied to you in any way, shape, or form. I didn't draft you. I didn't trade for you. I didn't sign you. I didn't give you a deal. None of that. So I want to bring in guys that I know that are familiar with my system, my terms, my language, how I operate, and I want to insulate my team with a lot of those guys. Mm-hmm. So this could be a way that Dan Quinn looks up and he goes, you know what? Osa's going to be on the block. We got money. Let me spin the block, see if I can't scoop up Osa, and they can do what they want with Jonathan Allen. We're good on him.
Yeah, I think
you're ready to cook.
No, I'm not. I'm not because I don't think Osa's great either. But it ain't your money.
Y'all just tearing down Osa, huh?
No.
I
think he's a good player. I don't think he's special, but I don't think anybody in this free agent class is special.
Wonderful man.
No, I think he's a great guy. I don't think again, I hear you on the money. But it's the same argument. People saying, "Why pay Dak $60 million? Because he ain't worth $60 million."
But you got one quarterback. You got one quarterback.
You got one quarterback.
I understand.
And there's only 32 spots in this league. And if your quarterback is in the top 10, which Dak was at that particular time,
still is.
That's whatever. Well, I'm not here to argue that.
Yeah.
But in that case, you sign him. And again, we talked about this. The Cowboys waited too long. They waited till he got to the end of his contract, and now they had no choice because they had no backup. They tried to do the whole Trey Lance thing and realized when Trey Lance got there, this guy's gooch juice. This guy's not going to help us much.
Oh no!
You know what I'm saying? And now we just have to go with what we have to go with. There's no other option that we have to go out there and play quarterback with and to be relevant every single season. That's what a quarterback gives you.
I think it's a sign of the Cowboy times. Like right this second is the lowest I've seen pretty much everybody on the Cowboys as a whole, and especially as a front office. And this is kind of where they put themselves, where if it ain't him, you've got a lot to figure out. Mm-hmm. And if you're going to be banking on drafting guys and as rookies getting really good performance at defensive tackle, I would like to point you towards Mozzie Smith, who was a first-round pick.
Yep.
It can be challenging at D tackle. So, yeah, they did to themselves what they've done to themselves a lot, which is you've delayed a decision too far. And I agree with Jesse that Osa is the sort of player that you let walk and you just keep free comp picks coming to your team and you fill that hole somewhere else.
Yeah.
They have nothing ready to do that because they've been failing at the draft the last couple of years and they've opted out of free agency. So they just put themselves in a really weird spot where if it ain't Osa, it's got to be somebody, and it's going to have to be a combination of somebody.
It got to be somebody in when you go to Jared Allen, or is it Jared Allen, right?
Jonathan
Allen. I'm thinking Jared Allen. Jonathan Allen.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Jared's going to Hall of Fame.
Washed.
There's a question
Jared?
of
No, Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan. He's washed. Okay.
Washed.
There's a reason
That's
why.
his opinion. That doesn't mean that's true.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I'm just saying that there's a reason why Washington's letting him seek a trade. There's a reason why Washington is out on a guy who was a first-round pick, former two-time Pro Bowler, all that in college.
It could be guys. So you're telling me that guys don't grow sour in some locker rooms?
I don't.
He can want a fresh start. They can want a fresh start with him. Sometimes it doesn't always have to do with performance.
Just like we were talking about J. Lou yesterday about culture guys and foundation guys,
right,
and those type of guys in the locker room. Osa can be that here. Again, I said earlier, I don't think he's, that type of player. I don't think he's a top 10 player. I don't think he's that type of player. So
I think you're wonderful, Osa. I'm really sorry.
Osa's a great guy.
Sorry.
He's a great dude.
He's a top 10 free agent.
But the problem with the Cowboys is, if not Osa, then
That's
who?
what I'm saying.
And you're trying to win now.
I just told you.
And they
Jonathan Allen plus Poona Ford.
Don't
trade for Jonathan Allen. Just sign
no.
somebody else.
Right.
Trade for DeForest Buckner, sign Poona Ford, and then bring back DeMarcus Lawrence with the money that you're going to pay Osa.
Again,
That's 3.
And draft a guy.
Only thing I cost you guys, it ain't y'all money. Okay, and Cowboys clearly got the money. And one thing that Steven said yesterday is we want to. I said I wouldn't.
Bobby, give me 2 buckets of water, please.
I don't know. I kind of think you're carrying the water.
I'm not carrying water.
Yeah,
you're trying to save them money.
Yeah, you're the one pretending that.
I'm trying to get us the best team possible.
You're trying to save them money.
I'm trying to put together a team.
That's fine. I'm not carrying.
You're trying to sign one player for $80 million.
So who am I carrying? Osa or the Cowboys? Because clearly I'm going against the Cowboys.
You're gonna tell me it ain't your money.
I'm saying it ain't your money. That's all I'm saying. Let's not get caught up in the money. Can he help you? What's the best way to help you win now? Is all I care about.
We're talking about a dude signing in free agency. We have to get caught up in the money.
Okay. Just because you sign Osa don't mean you can't add guys to the rotation. Don't mean you can't do other things, right? We don't get caught up
in the money when it comes to Micah. Micah's the money conversation that we don't get caught up in. What does he want? What does Micah want?
Whatever he wants, he can have.
We pay him. Yeah. The rest of the other guys, if you're not elite talent, then we have the conversation about money. Your production, your productivity, who you are as a player versus the price that we're going to pay for you. When you're Micah Parsons, you sign the damn check. And that's just period. End of discussion. When you're CeeDee Lamb, you sign the check.
You don't wait.
When you're Tyron Smith in his prime, Zach Martin in his prime, sign the check.
And Tyler Smith, you need to sign the check. And I guess my point.
I agree with you.
My point is this: the Cowboys know what the money's going to know what the market is, and as of right now, they want to sign Osa. They want to sign that check or some check thereof.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Steven said.
No.
And he could very well.
We're focused on signing Osa.
Yeah.
Well, is what he said.
But do you think they will do it?
They're focused
at a market price.
To me, when they want to sign somebody, they sign them. I mean, they did not. When they said we're out on DeMarco Murray, they were out on DeMarco Murray. They did not, negotiate to try to keep him.
Well, they like to sign guys before they hit the market, and this guy's about to go to the market.
I mean, they've done both. I mean, at the end of the day,
they
didn't sign Dak for it got done, and again, they have time.
He's a quarterback.
I'm just saying.
No,
I'm saying guys. I'm saying, and they have a window before the market opens.
That's fair.
They have an exclusive negotiating one. That's why he talked about we're going to get our arms around it at the combine now.
No, yeah.
And so this week at the combine, he's talking to his agent, getting his arms around it, saying we are focused on signing Osa now. That could change next week. That could change next month.
This is why this is why they're bad at this. This is why they're bad at this. You are where you are because you don't prioritize what you need to prioritize and do the crap you're supposed to do immediately. Micah Parsons should have been signed last year.
Yeah.
Don't tell me that you're busy worrying about Osa, so you can't worry about Micah Parsons yet. He should have been signed 12 months ago. Sign him tomorrow. Then talk to me about Osa Odigizua, who I love.
And we got to talk about Michael's deal too at some point.
We will talk about Micah's deal. We'll also
you
talk about a Mel Kiper mock draft, which is shaking up the entire world. Stuff's getting wild in draft world. Who's he got the Cowboys taking? And it's interesting. That's all next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast.
If you're like me, like most people, time is of the essence. You don't have all day. You're working, you're stuck in traffic, you're helping with homework, you're at your local sporting event for little Johnny or little Susie, and then
Little
it's like,
Joe.
oh wow, we
Joey.
gotta cook dinner. And now I don't have anything in the fridge. I don't have time to go to the store. Let me tell you about our friends at HelloFresh. If you use the promo code FREECowboys, you get up to 10 free meals and free high protein items for life at HelloFresh.com using the promo code FREECowboys. They have over 50 selections, and it only takes from box to fork about less than 10 minutes. So you can get everything that you need, all the ingredients, all the seasonings, everything in one box. All the meal prep is there. All you have to do now is put heat to pan, and you have a meal. Head on over to HelloFresh.com, use the promo code FREECowboys, and get your meals today.
Shout out to our friends at Sleeper as well. I love me some Sleeper. What day is today? What is today? Are the Mavericks playing today?
Yeah!
Who they
Let's
play?
go, Lakers.
Oh, they're playing
Lakers and Mavs.
What?
There's a...
You
what?
said let's go Lakers?
I said, yeah, let's go. Like the games today.
Oh, okay, I'm finna
No.
say.
You can go ahead and download that
Let's go.
Sleeper app and pick more than on Luka Doncic. Points, rebounds, and assists. That's 3 different things that you can pick on the Sleeper app. That's what you're
PJ,
doing.
if you a real G, PJ, you do what Kobe Bryant did to Pau Gasol or Luka Doncic on the first play and then stand like this. If you want to be, that's
If he's going to do that, take the less than
Yeah.
on all PJ stats when he gets tossed. But that's what you do on Sleeper. You make your picks on who you think is going to have more or less than their projected stats. Make sure you use the promo code DLLS Boys when you download the Sleeper app. You'll get $55 in free entries when you place a $5 contest. See their terms of use for details. Operation over 25 states. All right, it is the Cowboys DLLS podcast, and it is segment number 2. There are occasional mock drafts that I insist that we cover. We have to cover the mock draft because I love the NFL draft. And
awesome.
I'm going to tell you this right now. I hate almost every draft analyst on the planet.
except Fran Duffy.
I don't hate them
Except Fran.
except Fran. Fran Duffy's the best,
Okay.
and my
love
friend Dane Brugler's
Dan
great,
Brugler, we love
Dane
that.
and I'm
Dane's
great. Vach is great, and a lot of people.
That's a few. That
Broadus
you-
is obviously
it's a few
great.
that you don't.
Here's what I hate about it.
Okay.
I'm doing this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Long time.
Mm-hmm.
Longish,
All right.
relatively
I got
speaking.
You. I got you. My fault. Yeah.
Whenever Chance Warmack and Jonathan Cooper
Yeah.
were drafted, I was
Go
doing
Heels.
this, okay?
Go Heels.
2014?
2014.
All right.
Go
So
Heels.
11 years or whatever, maybe more than that. I don't know. What I hate is when people use certain words when they talk about the draft. Like, boy, this guy is really rising and this guy is really falling. No, they're not. You never actually told us what you thought about the player. Like Mel Kiper has rankings.
Mhm.
We believe that Mel Kiper watches the guys and ranks them, right?
Mm-mm.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Either he doesn't or, boy, he changes his mind a lot. Because every time we get closer to the draft and he talks to more people, Luther Burden, who was his 5th best player, is no longer anywhere to be found in the top 25.
He had him at his 5th best player?
Somewhere up. He was way up there.
Yeah.
Ted
I still like
McMillan,
Luther.
who was numbered somewhere up there, then was number 9, now is number 17. Like, they're talking to people, and people are telling them, you're wrong, or you've been misinformed. And then, and so it's like people aren't rising or falling. People are finding out what people inside the NFL are going to tell them and adjusting their rankings accordingly. And that's coward stuff. Go to my Twitter or my Blue Sky, and you can see my player rankings, and you do not see somebody go, "Yay!" Because I'm telling you what I think. They're a bunch of cowards. That's all. I just want to get that out there.
As a reporter,
There you go.
You want to be right.
There you go.
as a reporter,
Yeah.
There you go.
what's wrong with talking to people in the league who do this for year round and get their opinions on these guys?
Then say you're a draft insider,
Okay, that's
not a
fine.
draft analyst.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I'm-
fair.
That's fair. I'm just saying.
Because,
Yeah.
and there are people that do
Because
that.
I mean
think-
that's what you generally want to know what the league thinks, because
For
the
sure.
league is the one who's going to draft them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
They're
the
the ones who
league's
do
also
the-
doing their homework right now too, and
Yeah,
talking to
they're the
people
ones
and
who gonna
finding
do the
things
draft.
out. And,
Yeah.
And I think Dane and guys talk to you look at players, but also talk to
Yeah.
scouts and see what they think as well.
No, yeah, and there's value in it, and I
Yeah.
like it because what we do is we get to talk about these things because they're talking to people.
Yes.
And you're going, oh, wow, this is interesting. This is what you're hearing, that this could be possible.
Yeah.
And so that's what he says, where the last thing in his dealy is that, this is what I'm hearing from people, and so this is what it could look like. So I'm going to get you to 12, and I'm going to do it quickly. Travis Hunter, number 1. I went to his rankings instead of his mock. Abdul Carter, number 1, Penn State pass rusher. Cam Ward, number 2, quarterback at Miami to Cleveland. Giants at 3, Travis Hunter. Patriots at 4, Will Campbell, offensive tackle LSU. Jaguars at 5, Mason Graham, defensive tackle Michigan. Raiders at 6, Ashton Jeanty, running back, Boise State. New York Jets at 7, Shedeur Sanders, Colorado quarterback. At 8, Carolina Panthers, Jalen Walker.
Will Ashton Jeanty fall in the line of high draft picks by the Vegas Raiders that fizzle out?
Boy, if he goes to the Raiders,
You
I'd
just
say-
hate Genty.
it would just
No,
suck if he went to the Raiders.
He hates Genty.
Yeah, he kind of does.
He hates
kinda-
Genty like he
he
hates
kinda does,
Osa.
actually.
He hates Genty like
He's
because he
not
went to
wrong.
Boise. They not going.
He's not wrong with the Raider thing, but he does it. That the reason he brought that up is because he doesn't like
We'll
Jeanty.
tell.
Number 8, Jalen Walker to the Panthers. That is a Georgia linebacker / pass rusher. Number 9, New Orleans Saints, Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State.
Ooh, if he goes top 10, you were gonna. Ooh, okay, fair.
I think he will. A lot of people are starting to mock him there.
No, I'm
A lot of people are starting to mock him there.
I hate box. No, play.
Number 10, Josh Simmons, Ohio State offensive tackle. Number 11, Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan. Number 12, the Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Ashton Jeanty is not available. So surely they will go to a different position.
They going to Chapel Hill, baby.
Omarion Hampton, running back,
Who?
North Carolina.
Let's go to Chapel Hill, baby.
Who?
The running back that
Chapel Thrill, baby.
the running back that I've been hoping for the Cowboys in the second round. Mel Kiper just slapped in his top 12 in a mock draft and set the world on fire.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and it's not about Hampton, and he's a good prospect, great player. My issue is his reasoning.
Yeah,
He
His
said,
reasoning. He explained it. His reason is my issue.
I've talked to people in the NFL who have Jeanty and Hampton neck and neck
Okay.
for running back number 1. And
Okay.
there are even some who prefer Hampton. And I look at Dallas's decision to hire Brian Schottenheimer and can't help but think about his father, Marty. There's some Jerry stuff. And all those run-heavy offenses he had over 21 seasons. One would think some of that will rub off on the Cowboys' new coach, even with Dak and CeeDee. But to jumpstart the run game, they actually need a legit running back. Rico Dowdle was decent, but he's a free agent, and Dallas will likely want to upgrade. Plus, this team has been known to use early picks at the position in the past, including drafting Zeke at number 4.
yeah, that was
And then
the,
tell me
that was the
other
one.
than
I'm
Zeke,
about
what's
to
the
say
early
that was
pick?
the
What's the
one.
early
I
pick?
know. I
What's
agree.
the history of early picks?
That was
That's the problem I
the
have.
one.
Yeah, and when you say that they drafted Zeke, I think it would also make sense to say, okay, but what have they done since then? And the answer would be realized their mistake in paying him, cut him, and then did a year where they put nothing at running back. So is that pendulum going to go Zeke, nothing, back to Zeke? I don't know. I don't think this is a year where 2 running backs are going top 12.
No.
I don't think.
The other thing too,
I
with-
do. Go ahead.
Hampton's
the,
a beast.
The other thing in Ashton Jeanty's favor is the storyline. I think Jerry loves a good story. He talks about it. You know, the Cinderella ending. Remember, they were 3 and 5 last year. He's like, we're gonna have a Cinderella ending all the way into the end. I think he likes the story of Ashton Jeanty being a Frisco kid, going to Lone Star High School, playing in the Star, and I think he can market that. And Ashton's very marketable to begin with. I don't think Omarion Hampton has the same kind of marketability right now, even though he's a darn good player, that Ashton Jeanty would have. So I think if they were going to do a running back at 12, it would be Jeanty or bust. I don't see a situation where they do anything other than that.
I agree with you. And I need Hampton to fall about 32 picks from there.
And
And I
that'd be
need him to
sick.
not go 12. That's what I need to happen. Otherwise, we're going to have to. But that is what I think is really interesting about Mel Kiper's mock draft and some of the other insiders. That's what we need to call them, insiders, instead of analysts. And then I won't be mad at them.
Yeah.
Insiders. Like Daniel Jeremiah had one recently, and there's a couple of common themes, which is the wide receivers that a month ago Cowboy fans were like, please let him get to 12. Please let him get to 12. Please let him get to 12. It's starting to sound like there is a really good chance there's no receiver taken in the top 12 or top 11.
Well, yeah,
And
I'm
you
not
can
a
have
tech
your
guy.
choice.
Right, and Luther Burden, who everybody mocked to the Cowboys a month ago, or he was a popular mock outside of Jeanty.
Not in Mel Kiper's first round mock draft.
And a couple other guys. I don't think Daniel Jeremiah hasn't been in the first round. Somebody else, I don't think Dan hasn't been in the first round. He's fallen out of the first round. And just like Jalen Walker a few weeks ago was not in the first round, and now he's in the top 10.
Yeah, it's just people talking to people, and it makes me feel smarter. Well, it makes me feel smarter.
Well,
and
and
like Jalen Walker, I was like, yeah, he's like a top 5 player in this class, and Pro Football Focus took him from like number 8 to number 53.
Right.
So somebody talked to somebody who said you're way wrong about him, and they went, oh, sorry. And then other people are like, hey, you're too low, and other people are like, and it's just like, okay, well,
Yeah, but the cool thing about what you do is you trust your eyes, right? You saw it like, hey, I like Emeka Egbuka for this reason at 12 because blah, 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 right? But the problem with talking to other people is, especially in the draft, is that it's kind of a dirty game. Like, people are going to tell you things like, oh, hey, man, I heard about this one guy, and I think you should probably drop him. Here's the reason why. And insiders have to kind of balance, okay, is this a smokescreen, and do they actually want this guy? You know, or are they using me to try and get this guy back? So that's what's tough about using the spoken word rather than your own eyes in terms of draft analysis.
Well, then you got guys like the Tennessee defensive end who's fallen off some people's
Pierce.
boards. Pierce. Because of
AKA Randy Gregory, if you want to know who he is. He's Randy Gregory. I just like people to
he
have a
smokes
picture.
weed. He smokes weed.
No, I just want people to have a picture of
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking
no,
smoking.
not
Thinking
in
with-
terms of weed.
I mean,
In terms of 6'5", 245, 250,
Yeah, but
first
he's-
step pass rusher.
but he's
That's what he
falling
is.
off because of off the field concerns or whatever else.
But you know what's crazy about that is the off-field
That'd be
concerns by
crazy.
some random aggregate account who's saying, oh, I heard this. And then one guy from his high school said, oh, yeah, he was a bad guy. Now he's got character concerns.
Well, because he's had no red flags while he was at Tennessee, but he's dropped.
So, I mean, is that the
You know
spoken word
why-
of someone disparaging his name, trying to get him to actually, so we can take him in the second versus doing a reach in the first?
You know why he's dropped?
Why?
Because people were wrong to begin with.
He wasn't that high.
Some people had him as a top of the second round guy. Just watch the freaking players.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just watch the players.
I'm just
You jerks. But another thing that I found interesting.
Better be interesting.
I think it's going to be interesting.
I told you Penn State's Tyler Warren went number 9 in Mel Kiper's mock draft. I want to draw your attention to number 20 in his mock draft. Colston Loveland, the tight end from Michigan. By the time the 21st pick gets on the clock, 2 tight ends are gone. No wide receivers. Not a one.
That is interesting.
And the first wide receiver that he does have picked, Emeka Egbuka. Not Tet McMillan. Not Luther Burden.
And where does he have him
Yeah,
picked?
where does he? Egbuka go?
21st.
To who?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
See,
Which I told you know who he reminds me of? Hines Ward.
but I'm just telling y'all,
Can he hit that hard?
you put
Oh, he's a blocking
I know you can
animal.
block, but can he hit that
you
hard?
put
I don't know.
Emeka next to George Pickens, and he's just consistent for 10 years.
Yeah, but
You
Pickens
put
ain't
him-
gonna run the right route.
Huh?
Pickens might not run the right route.
No, no.
But Emeka will
No,
tell
but
him the right route.
Emeka will.
He'll coach him up. 'cause
Emeka
he's a pro.
will. On
That's
third
actually,
down,
I like that
and
marriage.
on third down, you're gonna find Emeka. He's gonna be open where he's supposed to be. See, George Pickens is it's boom or bust. It's he's gonna make a play, but he's gonna mess up 2 other plays.
Is this the Emeka conversation we're gonna have?
Yeah, I think so. I think we'll just tease it ahead and we'll do it.
Because
I think there's someone on this panel that is hearing that name and saying no, thank you.
No,
for
no.
a certain reason.
yeah, for
For
your
a
reason,
certain
for your
reason.
reason, for your reason.
And so we shall continue on with draft fights next on the Cowboys DLLS podcast.
You got some Shady Rays? Do you got some Shady Rays?
I do.
We got Shady Rays. The weather is breaking. We are in
So
the
nice.
70s in DFW this week. The sun is shining. This is when you put your Shady Rays on. You put your windows down to about eye level, not all the way down. But you Put them about eye level. A nice cool breeze is coming in. You're playing your favorite tunes and you're just riding. Speed limit. You ain't going nowhere fast. You got your cool shady rays on. You're looking left and you're looking right. You may blow the horn. Bump, bump.
Pop,
Give
pop.
somebody the two-finger do sign right here. But you looking good in these shady rays, man. Head over to shadyrays.com and get you a pair of polarized sunglasses. And if you use the promo code DLLS, you can get 35% off those glasses. Over 300,000 people have said, these are amazing. These are 5-star, many colors, many sizes, many frames, many different different types. Go get you a pair of Shady Rays. ShadyRays.com. Use the promo code DLLS and get 35% off a pair of polarized glasses.
Also, I want to shout out our friends at Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Maybe you're in LA right now and you're like, man, I sure would like to see these Mavericks and these Lakers. Pop on that Game Time app. I can't promise you that it's going to be super cheap tonight, but I can tell you that if it's your first time downloading that Game Time app, you create that account, you use the code DLLS, bang! That'll be $20 off that first purchase. That'll help you out. And a couple of my favorite things about Game Time is that they do have the all-in pricing. You toggle that feature on and it's going to show you everything right up front. You won't have the surprise fees at checkout. Lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. And your tickets are guaranteed to be delivered on time. Your purchase is covered with one of the most flexible customer service policies in the ticketing industry. Our friends at Game Time are going to get you hooked up. Get to the games and let them take care of all that. Great for last-minute situations and all that. Use the promo code DLLS. What time is it?
Game time.
Ooh. All right. Why is Joe smacking his phone down?
No, nothing. I was.
Yeah, we can't bring that into this one.
I was thinking about saying something from the ad break about something like that, and now that we're out of the ad break, just to kind of make you mad, and I decided not to.
All right. Still kind of did.
Yep.
Why don't you want to make him mad?
Scared.
No, that's not it.
Because today ain't today, brother.
No, it's just
Today ain't today.
Or else
Let's
it
go
might be a
say
threat.
it.
I'm not as scared of the Jeff's threats. I love you. I'm not.
Or else is definitely a threat
You
today.
just put it out there, so just go and say it.
No, I know, but
You can't say it now.
I left.
Is it about the ad?
No, I was joking about like, oh, hey, Jeff, there's one thing about Game Time. I was going to look up
yeah.
ticket prices and then.
This is worse than having done that.
I know.
Yeah.
Now I feel bad. He's carrying it on. We're moving on.
Yeah, this is worse than having done that. So we're talking about Mel Kiper's mock draft where the Cowboys take Omarion Hampton, the North Carolina running back, at number 12 overall. And no receiver comes off the board until 21st overall. And that receiver's name is Emeka Egbuka, who I'm a really big fan of, but it's interesting.
But it's interesting.
I think it's going to be interesting.
That the first wide receiver drafted in Mel Kiper's mock draft has never been the number one receiver on his college team.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be the top receiver taken in the NFL draft,
But let me
which
say
says
this.
a lot.
But let me say this. Let me say this about that, though. The guys on his football team that were the number one receivers, pretty damn good guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like it was just a bunch of jags. Like,
How many years do I have to go back here? Is it Garrett
It's
Wilson,
Garrett
Chris
Wilson,
Olave,
Chris
Marvin
Olave,
Harrison
Marvin-
Jr.,
like,
Jackson
like-
Smith, and
but-
Jigba?
you know what I'm saying?
But to
it's-
carry that on, he's not projected to be a number one receiver in the pro either.
But that might be a superpower. That might be the beauty of him.
He's
But
just been waiting.
but we can't say he wasn't number one in college because these guys were special and they are number ones. But he's not going to be number one in the pros either.
Like,
I mean,
he's
he's
a damn
he's
good
not
receiver.
considered
Like, he
a number one receiver.
He would have been a number one receiver this year. Instead, there was this 17-year-old kid that came along.
I agree.
who will be a number
Who
one
will
overall
be
pick,
number one?
unless it's a quarterback.
Right, like-
I agree. But again, the fact that he's not going to be number one in the pros, he's not even projected to be number one in the pros, is one of the issues.
But
If there's an issue.
I think the problem has been with him is the projection hasn't been there because he's had to play second fiddle to the elite others. I just named
If you-
Garrett Wilson,
First round pick.
Garrett Wilson,
Olave.
First round pick.
Marvin Harrison
First round
Jr.,
pick.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Jackson
First round
Smith
pick.
and
Who
Jigba.
was never number one either, was
and now what's the kid's name? Ryan Williams.
No,
not Ryan
Jeremiah
Williams.
Smith.
Jeremiah Smith.
You know, one thing that I learned a long time ago, and Brady James said it when he was a rookie, and we were replacing somebody at linebacker.
You don't remember who, though?
I think it was Dexter Coakley.
Okay.
NFL ain't wait your turn. Okay, football ain't wait your turn. Okay, it's not wait your turn. It's not. Those guys became number one because they went and took it because they were number one guys.
You don't
What
gotta
I'm-
wait your turn at wide receiver.
But my point is, we're talking about he wasn't number one because of them. Well, if he was them, he'd be number one. And I guess as I go to the pros, and we're really talking about the pros, he's still not projected as the number one. We can't keep saying he's not number one in college because these guys were better, and then we're going to the pros, and now he's going to be a first-round pick, but he's still not considered number one guy.
Jarvis Landry wasn't number one at LSU, and he was pretty damn good in the NFL.
Brian
Thomas wasn't number one in LSU. He was pretty good in the NFL so far.
I'm just saying that we're having this conversation about Emeka Egbuka, and the reason we're having the conversation is not because of his game, it's because how it was described.
Yeah.
Safe.
Yeah,
It
he's my guy that so as I was watching all of these draft prospects, the general consensus amongst most people is like it's Arizona's Tet McMillan, who's your big wide receiver, and then it's Luther Burden at Missouri, who is under 6 foot, but he's kind of Debo, like after the catch, monster. And then there's Emeka Egbuka, who is not like Luther Burden after the catch, who is not an outside X receiver that's like your go-get-it guy. He's neither of those things. But he is an incredibly consistent route runner that will get open against man coverage, that will block his ass off, that will catch everything. Like, he's a guy that lacks your elite whatever, but also lacks a weakness. And so to me, it's like it's because of in this draft class, he feels like a guy. It feels really weird to say I would take a guy that I think can be a number 2 receiver for a long time at number 12 overall.
Right.
It feels weird.
That's my only pushback is that when we talk about the guys the Cowboys have drafted at 11 and 12, you're talking about going back to just recent years, Tyron Smith or
Micah.
Micah, or even a DeMarcus Ware. Those guys, those are Hall of Fame dudes. Okay, when you go 7 and 10, and you at the top of the draft, and 12 is kind of the top of the draft, so to speak, considering what you've done there. I want special. I don't want safe. I don't. And what troubles me is we keep talking about this draft being not a lot of high end talents. This is a good. I guess depth-wise is a good quality draft, but not a lot of special dudes in this draft.
Yeah.
No, I think special, there's 2, potentially 3 or 4.
And then there's other risks, too, that you could take, and they'd be risky, but they have a lot of risks to them.
Yeah.
They'd be risky, but they have a lot of risk to them.
And they have a lot of risk to them.
Risky and have risk.
The risk would be heightened.
Yeah.
Sorry, I hit my head on the way in here today. I think I'm slightly concussed. It's fine.
What's that catcher for the Yankees?
Which one?
Okay.
I remember Jose Trevino.
No.
Yeah.
Got to go way back.
Because at Cedar Crest on number 8 or whatever, he drove the green. Great tee shot.
That's pretty
by
sick.
Jose.
But
no, so I think it's a it's a very unique draft class, and I'm thoroughly enjoying that the names to know for the Cowboys at number 12 are just constantly changing. Because a couple weeks ago, somebody asked me, because most people are saying Tet McMillan is the number 1 receiver in this draft. Is there any chance he could be available at 12? And I was like, absolutely. And like, mock drafts don't say that. Now every mock draft says not only will he be available, he will go beyond your pick before he gets picked. And it's just fun to watch as what people hear evolves in a year where I'll tell you where you want to pick. You want to pick where you can pick Abdul Carter, Penn State pass rusher, Travis Hunter, corner/wide receiver. It's insane, but he legit can be. Travis Hunter is legit, I believe, the clearly best receiver and corner in the class. That's insanity.
He's a dude.
Right. But Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, Mason Graham, the Michigan defensive tackle, who Cowboy fans won't even want anyway.
They should.
And I think that's the end. Like, that's the end of the prospects that you don't start picking at them.
Yeah.
We've had this conversation for weeks now, talking about the Cowboys, how they have mishandled, and I shouldn't say mishandled, but their draft picks on the high-end level the last 2 years hadn't shown up in the way they needed them.
Yeah.
Which in return has left many holes for this Cowboys football team when we come into this draft.
You want to be safe.
No. I want to.
He don't want to be safe.
See, you. I don't call it safe.
But that's his words.
That is your words. I wrote them down before the show because you said the words. You said, I don't want safe.
Okay, we had a conversation on Twitter before the show,
We did?
Yes.
Oh.
We were going back and forth on Twitter before the show. You said
you don't
safe
remember this?
on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I do think it's safe.
Yeah,
And
right.
you
That
said,
was
I
your
know what's safe.
Yeah, that was your description of him on Twitter.
Get him.
Was I think he's safe,
And
that's the one thing that made me like fingers on the chalkboard at 12. And I hear what you're saying about guys in the show, but those guys at the back end of the draft, we're talking about the top end of the draft.
Right.
Don't compare guys in 20 to guys in the top 12.
But again, we're talking about a draft that is lacking in the elite talent across the board, right? So from my liking, I'm saying go get me the sure thing. Go get me something that you know is going to be able to step in and contribute right now. Because I start as I'm thinking about this draft in certain positions, I'm thinking about, okay, what does this quarterback do well? When this quarterback is at his greatest, what does he have around him?
Read the field, deliver the ball.
What does this team lack? Opposite, your words are CD and a bunch of maybes.
Yep.
And I still want him to get a player next to him.
And so now I'm looking at a guy who won't be a maybe. I'm looking at a guy who'll be a for show right on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a guy that's going to complement your number one receiver.
You know how you want Ronnie Stanley? Give me that. What's the receiver for Devontae Adams? Go give me Devontae Adams.
Yeah, trade for
Right,
him.
but I'm
No,
saying
he's
you
free
get
agent.
Devontae, you get Devontae for 2
2027.
years tops.
You got Dak.
I'm giving you 10.
my,
You're giving me Dante. You're giving me Devontae. You're giving me Adams for 2 years,
I'm trying to win now.
and I'm giving you. I believe that the productivity between Emeka Egbuka and Devontae Adams will be remotely close in his rookie season and to where Devontae is at right now.
I disagree, but I think Brian Steinheimer got 2 years tops. I think this whole Dak.
I thought he got a
CD
3-year contract.
He got a 4-year contract.
4-year. You think
I'm-
Jerry's actually going to pay a coach to not coach for the first time ever?
If they don't win, and they win 7-10 last year, the record is tough, even tougher next year. If they don't win,
Jerry go to dig
if
in
they
his
go
couch for
to
some change.
another losing season, he on the hot seat in year 2. There's no question about that. And we're rethinking this whole future of everything. This is not about 10 years. This is about what can you do now? How can you help me win now? And the catch I was talking about, somebody brought up Yogi Berra. That was a Yogi Berraism. I don't know if you know Yogi.
Oh, yeah, I know
Okay, that was
Yogi.
Yogi Berraism about risking,
Yeah,
I know, but it was
no,
Yogi's
super
No, Yogi's
Yogi's
a
Yogi
legend.
Berraism. That's a
Yogi's a
That was a Yogi Berraism.
Stop.
That's-
I know that you're a baseball fan, but we're not gonna let him
Yogi's
get
a
away.
legend.
No, I
We're
mean,
not gonna let him get away with a Yogi Berra.
Let him cook with the old quote.
Never be.
It wasn't about the quote. It's about what you said. The conundrum of Brisky and risky. He's
What did you call
risky because, I mean, he's
He said
risky because he's
it
risky.
would be a risky pick
Because he's risky.
that would
got
come with
risk.
risk.
Right. That's a Yogi Berraism. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, it
But it's
happens.
about winning now. I mean, I hear you the 10-year thing.
No,
but they
he's
need
gonna
to
help
win
you
now.
He's
But
going to
would
help
help you
you
win
win right now. He's going to help you win right now. He's going to give
So
you.
I-
He's going to give you what you've been asking
I hear you
for.
talking about Brian Thomas in past drafts. When we talk about Brian and those guys, he wouldn't be 12 in last year's draft.
Brian Thomas would be wide
He'd be
receiver
number
1.
2.
He would be wide receiver number one in this draft.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I'm saying. So you know that dude is special. I don't know that he's special. Brian Thomas is proven to be a legitimate number 1 receiver. He's already that in the league right now. I don't know if this is ever in his future.
Who?
So what would Emeka Egbuka have to
Emeka.
do? What would Emeka Egbuka have
we
to
don't
do in
want
year
Emeka
one?
to be a number 1. We want Emeka to be a number 2. We
I-
want,
the good news
we
for the
want
Dallas-
the highest end of number 2 that we can get.
I know what he would do in year number 1.
Yeah.
I know
800
exactly what he would
800
do.
yards.
He would have 60 catches for 800 yards and
Yes.
5 touchdowns. I
Yes.
know exactly what Emeka
You would
Egbuka's
answer
going
one
to
of your
do.
biggest questions is having someone alongside CeeDee Lamb.
I know exactly what he's going to do in year
that
1.
sounds like a hell of a number 2 receiver to me.
Okay, okay.
You
what
gonna
is-
give me?
I know
you
exactly what
You
you're
gonna
gonna
give
do.
me 60 for 806 touchdowns? Sign me the hell up for the next 10 years.
But here's the good
Because the
news.
other guy's gonna give me 14 to 17 catches. 14 to 1,700 yards, 100 catches, and anywhere from 8 to 12 touchdowns. I'll take my wide receiver 1 and 2, giving me 13 to 14 to 15 touchdowns, giving me almost 2,000 yards of receiving yards and about 200 catches. I'll take it.
I mean, your boy Jalen
180
Tolbert
catch
had
it.
49 catches for 610 yards and 7 touchdowns last year.
Sounds
Look
like
at the way
we
you
get a
drop
couple.
that phone. It's like a.
Sounds like we get a
I'm
couple
just
hundred
saying,
more yards and some more catches.
But I believe
We'll get a
that the
better
numbers
threat.
will be down next year because they'll be running the ball. They'll be throwing the ball over the park. There won't be no 50 throws a game.
Ain't gonna happen.
I don't believe that Marty Ball, Schottenheimer running the football thing was going to happen. I'm telling you.
You don't believe it's going to happen?
Hell no. I
Then why
believe-
do you hire the guy?
We know why you hired him.
Because he's cheap and
Well,
they know
we
him.
know why
Okay,
we
well, they
hired
ain't going to win. So it don't.
Ain't gonna win.
If they, I mean, come on. We don't even believe in the plan.
Well,
we
no,
don't even believe in the
I know.
plan.
We never believed in the plan.
Oh,
Pat that thing, and they
what are
gonna
we
throw the ball across the
doing?
yard.
They gonna pat the thing, throw the ball across the yard.
I hope that the assistants that they hired are great and the offensive line plays better and that life is good. That's what I hope.
I think he's gonna be pretty decent.
I hope they invest well. They got 2 years.
Oh, man. Coming up next on the DLLS Cowboys podcast, I swear I wrote it down somewhere. It's something about the Cowboys.
Just
It's some
come
stuff,
on back, damn
It's some
it.
stuff that Steven said that
Yes.
was important, and I'm gonna find it at some point while talking in the next 2 minutes on the DLLS Cowboys podcast.
Selective.
I got you.
We also want to encourage you to sign up to be a diehard. Look at that $48 spring training intro offer. Y'all see Dane Dunning on the hill the other day? Nope, y'all didn't see it.
Oh, I saw it,
Like,
yeah.
he was cruising. Dane was cruising. Y'all see young Jacques with
Young
yard
Jacques.
ball? Bow! No,
Palo Alto High School with Devontae Adams.
Y'all don't even know who's on the team, do you?
Nope.
I do a Cowboy show.
Black folks don't like baseball?
I do a Cowboy show.
Yogi Bear?
We have a great spring training intro offer
You think Yogi Bear liked to? Never mind.
at alldlls.com, or you can
proud
use
of
the QR code that's on the screen for you. Usually it's about $80 a year to sign up to be a diehard, which is a wonderful price if we're being honest.
is
Great
real.
value. 48 is incredible. Jesse told me the math on that. That's $4 a month.
A T-shirt's going to run you about 30.
About 30.
About 30.
And when you sign up to be a diehard, you get a free one from our merch
So
store.
you already,
now you're down to $18,
you know what I'm saying?
basically.
And 20%
Basically.
off.
And then you get 20% off going forward.
I spent $18 on Skittles
Did you?
I
every
like
week.
Skittles. Skittles
Every
my-
week.
One of my favorite
I
candies.
got some Skittles at the house.
What's your flavor?
When you sign up to be a diehard, you get the
Red.
hookup. You get a free T-shirt that you
Mhm.
pick out from the merch store. You get 20% off other merch in the merch store. You get access to our Discord lounge, which is a great place to hang out, especially during games, but at all times because we talk about things that
It's
have
going to
nothing
be
to do with
lit
sports.
tonight during the what's called game.
Yeah, it's going to be lit.
The
It's going to be
Laker Mavs
litty.
game.
I got a question for you guys, and you diehard people and everybody in the chat.
You people.
Are you
What do you
rooting
mean?
for the Mavericks to win, but also Luka to go off?
Nope. I'm rooting for the Mavericks to win and Luka to bomb.
You want Luka to? Oh, there's so
Even-
many.
you gotta
I'm rooting
gas
for the
from
Mavericks.
that.
But I don't care.
That's
I don't
a
care.
DFW diehard.
Yeah, I don't care what Luka does. I want the Mavericks to win.
Shut him down. Shut him down.
Sign up at alldlls.com/diehard or use the QR code. Get signed up or else not a threat. All right, we got a final segment of the DLLS Cowboys podcast, and I swear it has something to do with Stephen Jones,
I
and I
got
wrote
you.
it down
He's
somewhere.
got
I
it.
got you. I got you.
Let him
I
cook.
got you.
He made words, and I promise you,
I got
he
you.
said at the end of the day,
Or it was the hot dog.
Oh,
game.
He actually did
he
say
also
that.
he also said
Obviously.
and
obviously.
he said obviously.
Obviously.
He said those two things. Have a great night, everyone. Which one did you read more into, obviously, or at the end of the day?
At the end of the day, and obviously, two things for Stephen Jones. You know, number one for me in my deciphering when he was talking about, certainly we talked about Osa already, but Micah Parsons, you know, and they haven't yet talked to him, but they're going to start talking to his agent this week at the Combine. And he talked about Micah Parsons and how they want to get a deal done. And he compared it to, because people ask him about, you got a history of waiting. You know, you got a history, you know, waiting with Dak and waiting with
The
CD.
waiting is the hardest part.
The waiting is the hardest part. And he alluded to the fact that the thing could be different this year. Didn't say it was, but thing could be different this year. Obviously, every negotiating is you know, every negotiation is different in their own negotiation. But they're not waiting like CD was waiting on someone to set the market. You know, Justin Jefferson had to set the market before you could get a deal done with CD. They weren't even negotiating until Justin Jefferson set the market. And Justin Jefferson set the market in June. They should have got the deal done in late June, but they didn't. They waited till in the training camp, but they were waiting for Justin Jefferson to set the market. You're not waiting for anybody to set the market for Micah. You know what the market is. He's going to be the highest paid defensive player based on
You should be desperate to get out in front of the market.
And he's going to be most likely the highest paid non-quarterback. That's right now $35 million. Justin Jefferson, highest paid defensive player is $34 million with Nick Bosa, and he signed that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you're going to blow that out the way just because of inflation and everything else. So you know what the market is. Okay, so the idea that he has to miss training camp or miss the offseason workouts, get the deal done. And he said they're going to talk to Mike and they want to sit there, but you don't have those obstacles, at least right now, in place. And I have a story on Die Hard right now about that. Okay, about them.
Look,
5 years, $200 million done. Let's go.
Get the deal done.
Keep it moving.
Yeah.
Was it 40 a year? Done. 120 guaranteed? Done.
And Mike has said he wants to be up in off-season program. He wants to be in minicamp. He's going to be around. He wants to get a deal done early. He's also implored them to be aggressive and do other things. Is this a sign, just like we're talking to Osa early? We want to get this deal. The obstacles that maybe they're going to do some things differently this offseason.
I do think they've. Is he carrying the water?
I
do
just
think-
asked a question.
I will say, here's the one thing I'll say, is watching the way that Jerry and Stephen Jones interact when they're being asked questions by the media over the course of the last 6 months is different than I've ever seen it. They're defensive.
Mm-hmm.
They know that the whole world has been talking about what they don't do, and they can't really figure out how to defend it.
Yeah.
But they're trying. And so there's going to be more pressure than ever for them to operate in the way that the aggressive teams operate, which they're capable of. They do plenty of restructuring, but the difference will be being more active in real free agency and in the trade market.
Right.
And will they? I don't know.
Well,
But
they
will
have
be
to
under
be.
more pressure than ever before because the world is more knowledgeable than ever before about the things they don't do.
Right.
Steven has reiterated multiple times since the Brian Schottenheimer hire that they want to be active in the trade market, which is kind of like you should be.
But
at
then as
least
soon as
he's-
Jerry talks, he's going to say, well, you can't call people now because that's when you lose the leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is
Well,
possible,
we'll
yeah.
talk to Jerry on Friday. I'll be in Indianapolis for the combine and talk to Jerry on Friday. But one thing that of note, they have to be more active because they have nobody on the roster. Okay, unlike
true.
they got 25 free agents.
You're gonna get to
They-
camp with
they,
9 guys.
They have to fill. You can't fill all the holes out to fill in the draft. So they have to replenish the roster. So they're going to be more active. And Stephen has said we're going to be more active early in free agency. Usually they wait till the big money's off the table and get involved, the second or third week.
Yeah.
Even in past years, not even just last year, but they have to be more active early in free agency to replenish the roster. So they have to do that.
And they use their own negotiations as an excuse not to use free agency, which is why if things are different, things will be different in that free agency starts in week and a half, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If things are going to be different, Micah Parsons signs in the next 10 days.
Yeah.
Because otherwise what they're going to do is they're going to use his potential extension as an excuse not to spend in free agency.
which is backwards thinking.
Dak's restructure should be announced before free agency starts.
Right.
So should CD's. Micah's extension should be done. Now you can go to work with your
And hope-
$100 million in cap space to make your team better. The secret is they don't usually want to.
And Osa too.
And if you extend Osa, like his number is going to be, depending on what that contract looks like, that number's not going to be big. That number is not going to be big. Signing Osa does not stop you from signing anyone.
No.
Signing Micah does not stop you from signing anyone.
Could
Both
you
of
actually-
those actually give you more flexibility potentially.
Yeah, Micah's cap number will come down when you sign him to his extension.
Yeah.
Like all of these things that if you really think that you're, and they would never say this out loud. I would respect them more if they think this. If they came out and said, look, we understand that we would have more to spend in free agency if we extended Micah Parsons right now, did our restructures right now, all of these different things, signed Osa long-term, put void years on the end. We get that. However, we don't think we're in a winning window. And so we're going to wait. And then when we feel like that is the right time, we'll be hyper-aggressive. Because that's the only way that I'll let you get away with doing business the way you do business, is if you say it is a strategic move because I don't think we can catch a few of these teams. But in a year or two, we think we can. We got to nail a draft. We got to get better young talent. We got to do all these different things. And then we're ready to go. We've signed too many bad contracts. If you said that out loud, I'm like, I dig it. You've got a plan.
But you can't act that way from mentality of like waiting till we're going to be the moment to strike when you're the Dallas Cowboys, when you have a quarterback on the deal that he has, when you have Micah Parsons, when you have a coaching staff that's young. I had when I was at a previous job and I was trying to get out of that job, I had a nice bottle of wine for my brother and I kept it in the fridge and I said, you know what, I'm going to open that bottle of wine when I get that new job that comes. Kept waiting. That dust kept going on the bottle. I said, you know what, screw it, I'm going to open it now. Opened it. A couple days later, I got the new job I wanted. So you know what, dude? You know what? Don't wait to go all in. Attack now. Don't wait for the perfect moment. It's never perfect. Just do it.
Have some fireball.
Don't be an alcoholic.
One
One
other thing from Steven that we could just touch on. He talked about the possibility of moving BB to guard. We played guard at Kansas State. Certainly the Kansas State, Connor Riley is offense coordinator, offensive line coach, now the Cowboys offensive line coach. That's what he did best in college. There's a possibility we talk about replacing Zach Martin. Could Cooper Beebe be an option to replace Zach Martin at guard? And then you have maybe Brock Hoffman or TJ Bass playing center.
Yeah, so I texted some people about this, got some results during the show. I think the idea is if they're going to move Cooper Beebe away from center, that means they have a better center there. So they're not going to move Cooper. The idea, at least early on, is like we're not going to take a guy who's our best center.
Let's
bring him back.
Let's go.
So we're not going to move
Try Guyton there.
Cooper Beebe to guard unless we have a better center option. So if you use an early pick on, say you love the idea of Jake Majors from Texas as being, as being your guard or center. He's a true center. We can move Cooper to guard. We think that he might be a better guard or a center than Cooper is a center, and we can have Cooper being a starting guard for us and being the Zach Martin guy. That's the option I think that they would consider doing.
Is he nasty? Is he going to bite somebody? He's going to hit him after the play.
Who, Jake Majors?
You're Brock Hoffman hate. You're Brock Hoffman hate.
Brock Hoffman is not bad.
And you make
Clarence hates him.
He's not bad.
I know.
You don't like Brock Hoffman.
I want his play on the field to matter more than his being dirty after the play.
The dirty-ish up to the line,
No,
not across it.
No, he crosses the
Not
line.
across
He
it.
crosses the line.
Not across. I mean, he might grab your junk a little bit.
It's a peen grabber. You know what I'm
I ain't never heard of Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, Zach Martin. The main thing we talk about them is, all the junk they do after the play.
Look, if you're great, you don't have to.
Okay.
Some people are trying to make it.
I don't
Some
hear-
people are trying to
we
make
talk
it.
about-
Hoffman would be the first one to tell you that he's not that.
When we talk about the Eagles offensive line, we ain't talking about the stuff they do after the play.
Yeah. Can I tell the Cowboys front office something real quick?
Yeah.
Would you guys mind if I told the Cowboys front
Yeah,
office?
sure. Tell them something. We
got some super chats to get to too. Well, I think we can talk about some offensive line stuff tomorrow too.
Yeah.
But just the words offensive line made me think of.
Right.
Dear Jerry and Steven,
Uh-oh.
do you know what smart football teams do? Smart front offices? Y'all got us worrying about Micah Parsons. Tyler Smith should get his contract extension tomorrow.
100%.
But we're going to wait another year, maybe another year, maybe a franchise tag, and then you're going to pay out the wazoo.
You're going to go Pro Bowl, and you're going to
Pay Micah Parsons today, pay Tyler Smith tomorrow, then you figure out what you're going to do with Osa and figure it out.
You don't like OC either.
Super chats. Michael, the delusional Cowboys fan. I love the selectively aggressive takes. Darren's in the chat. My guys, let's be strategically aggressive and tell Steven to stop talking. Actions speak louder than words. Tired of hearing the same lies.
There you go.
Freak Jesus, Kerry Matthews, smash the like button like Pop used to do to moms back in the day.
Wow.
Darren, we are the most reactive, not
Still.
proactive team in the league.
I agree.
And Michael, thanks for the show. I listened during my morning commute from Gilroy to San
Hey.
Jose. Hopefully Jerry and Steven feel the pressure to make some changes this offseason.
Shout
I
out to
agree.
the 408, Michael. Go get some garlic for
San
us.
Jose.
Get some garlic for us
in
from
the
Gilroy.
house.
If the Cowboys are going to do things differently, we're going to miraculously hear about their negotiations with Tyler Smith soon. I don't think we will. I don't know why. Like, what are the odds Tyler Smith is not really good 4 years from now?
Slim.
None.
That's who you sign as soon as you can. That's who you do that with.
And they're
not
aware of
Terrence
it.
Steele, not Michael Gallup, not Jalen Smith. That's who you do that with. If you are serious about winning and how you build your team, the guys that you know are going to be here a half decade from now, 3 years in, you give them their new contract. You fiddle farters.
Fiddle farters.
Fiddle farters.
They be fiddle farting.
Fiddle farting.
They're fiddle farting.
Fiddle farting.
That means you're messing around instead of getting stuff done.
Is that in the dictionary?
That sounds like a Yogi Berryism.
Is that a guff?
Y'all don't know about fiddle fart?
That sounds like a Yogi Berryism.
I think everybody knows about fiddle
They
fart.
probably do.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. And sorry for anything that you didn't like in today's. Oh, Pinky Bomb! Oh, this podcast is like inside the NBA for me, definitely helping me through this offseason. Yeah! Pinky Bomb!
Am I Barkley? Am I Barkley? Are you not Ernie?
I'm Ernie. You're Ernie. I'm Kenny Smith. I'm Cardio. Yeah, you're Kenny Smith.
I'm Barkley.
I'm Kenny Smith.
Shaq.
You're Ernie.
You're Ernie.
Yeah, I'll be Ernie.
Remember, you have no idea what anybody's going through, so be cool to everybody. We love you. Be easy.
Eliminated contingencies.
Or else.
$50, baby. Thank you.
We all silly like the mayor.